Kemi was a cheerful little girl who lived in Amuran, a small village in Ondo State, Nigeria. Her father, Mr. Johnson, was a teacher at the local government school. He loved helping children learn to read and write. Kemi's mother, Mrs. Johnson, was a kind woman who sold colorful clothes at the village market. Every evening, Kemi sat under the big mango tree in their yard, listening to her parents talk about their dreams for her future. Kemi, her father would say, "You'll grow up to be something great, maybe a doctor or a teacher like me." Kemi would smile and nod, though she didn't quite understand what those dreams meant. She was happy as long as her family was together. But one rainy evening, everything changed. It was a dark, stormy night when the news came. Kemi's parents had gone to the city to buy supplies for her mother's shop. The roads were slippery, and their car had collided with a truck. Both her parents died instantly. Kemi's world shattered. At just 6 years old, Kemi sat in the hospital, waiting for someone to take her home. Days turned into weeks, and no one came. The doctors and nurses pitied her, but they couldn't keep her forever. One day, a woman from an orphanage arrived. "You'll be safe with us," she said, holding Kemi's small hand. The orphanage became her new home, but it was nothing like her warm house in Amuran. Weeks later, a couple came to visit the orphanage. They were Mr. and Mrs. Adebayo, a wealthy but childless couple. They looked at Kemi with kind eyes, and decided to adopt her. Kemi thought she was finally going to find happiness again. At first, life with the Adebayos seemed like a dream. Their big house had everything Kemi could imagine, beautiful clothes, toys, and plenty of food. But as days passed, Kemi noticed strange things. The couple argued late at night, and they often left her alone with strangers. One evening, Kemi overheard them whispering about selling the girl. Terrified, she realized she was not safe. That night, she packed a small bag and decided to escape. Before Kemi could run far, a group of men caught her and bundled her into a van. They were kidnappers, cruel and heartless. They locked her in a small, dark room with other children. Kemi cried every night, praying for someone to save her. One day, the kidnappers sold her to another group, this time, people who trafficked children. Kemi was moved from city to city, forced to do hard labor. Her tiny hands worked endlessly, and her dreams of a better life seemed to fade. Kemi's life took a darker turn when she was sold to ritual killers. These people believed harming children would bring them wealth and power. Kemi was terrified, but she never stopped praying. Just as the ritual was about to begin, loud voices and flashing lights filled the air. "Police! Everyone stay where you are," shouted a man in uniform. The security agency had raided the compound. Kemi was rescued, along with many other children. For the first time in a long while, she felt hope. The government took Kemi under its care. They gave her a safe place to stay, and helped her start school. Kemi was a bright girl, and soon, everyone noticed how smart she was. When she told them she wanted to become a doctor, people began to help her. Kemi won a scholarship to study abroad. She worked hard and never forgot the struggles she had faced. Years later, she became a doctor, a symbol of hope and resilience. When Kemi returned to Amuran, she knew what she had to do. She built hospitals and orphanages, giving children the chance she never had. She started a medical school, where young people could learn to save lives. The people of Amuran loved her and called her Dr. Kemi, the Angel of Hope. Her story became an inspiration for everyone. Kemi walked through the dusty streets of Amuran, her heart heavy with memories of her parents and her childhood. The village had not changed much, but she could see the struggles of the people, sick children, tired mothers, and elders with no access to proper health care. Kemi decided that her first project would be to build a hospital. "This is where I'll start," she whispered to herself. She began gathering support from the government and international organizations, using her story to inspire others to help. When the construction of the hospital began, the entire village came to watch. It was the first modern building Amuran had ever seen. Children cheered, and the elders blessed Kemi, calling her a savior. But not everyone was happy. A local chief, who ran a traditional healing business, felt threatened. "If this hospital succeeds, no one will need me anymore," he grumbled, plotting to sabotage Kemi's efforts. One night, a fire broke out at the construction site. Workers rushed to save the materials, but much was lost. Kemi suspected foul play, but had no proof. "Don't give up," one of the villagers told her. "We believe in you." With renewed determination, Kemi raised more funds and rebuilt what was lost. The hospital was completed, and Kemi named it Hope Medical Center. On its opening day, a young boy with a fever was brought in. Kemi personally treated him, feeling a deep connection to the boy who reminded her of her younger self. Word spread quickly, and soon people from neighboring villages came to the hospital for treatment. The angry chief, seeing his influence fade, began spreading rumors about the hospital. "She's using strange medicine," he told the villagers. "You'll regret trusting her." Kemi decided to confront him. "Chief, I'm not here to compete with you. Let's work together for the good of our people." The chief laughed and dismissed her. But Kemi's calm response gained her even more supporters. As Kemi walked home one evening, she saw two children sleeping under a tree. They reminded her of her own struggles as an orphan. That night, she made another decision: she would build an orphanage for children with no families. She called it Haven of Hope, and it became a sanctuary for children from all over the region. One day, the chief's son fell seriously ill. The traditional herbs couldn't help him, and the chief reluctantly brought him to Kemi's hospital. Kemi treated the boy and saved his life. The chief, humbled, apologized to Kemi. "I see now that you mean well," he said. "How can I help you?" Kemi smiled. "Let's work together to make Amuran better." Kemi started a scholarship program for bright children who couldn't afford school. "Education is the key to breaking the cycle of poverty," she told the villagers. Many children began dreaming of brighter futures. As Kemi's projects grew, so did the challenges. Some government officials demanded bribes to approve her programs. Kemi refused. Her refusal angered the officials, who began delaying her permits. But Kemi didn't give up. She rallied support from international donors, bypassing the corrupt system. One of Kemi's trusted staff members, a man named Kunnal, was caught stealing funds meant for the orphanage. Kemi was heartbroken. "I trusted you," she said. Kunnal begged for forgiveness, but Kemi had to let him go. She tightened her security measures to ensure such betrayal wouldn't happen again. The governor of Ondo State visited Amuran to see Kemi's work. Impressed by her achievements, he promised to support her projects. But this also drew unwanted attention from people who wanted to exploit her success. One night, armed men broke into Kemi's home, trying to kidnap her. But her security team intervened just in time. Shaken but determined, Kemi increased her personal security and continued her work. Kemi expanded her efforts, building a hospital in Akure, the capital of Ondo State. The hospital offered free treatment for the poor and became a beacon of hope. Kemi's story reached international media. She was invited to speak at a global health conference in Geneva. Standing before world leaders, Kemi shared her journey, moving many to tears. Kemi decided to further her education, enrolling in a public health program. She wanted to learn more to help her people better. A rival organization spread false rumors about Kemi, accusing her of misusing funds. Investigations cleared her name, but the experience taught her to be more vigilant. Kemi's dream of building a medical school came true. She named it Johnson School of Medicine in honor of her late father. The school trained doctors who committed to serving rural areas. Graduates from the medical school began returning to their communities, setting up clinics and helping those in need. Kemi felt immense pride as she watched her vision take shape. One of the graduates, Amina, started a clinic in a remote area and named it after Kemi. She later developed a low-cost diagnostic tool that saved lives. Kemi helped Amina secure funding and distribution for her invention, inspiring other students to innovate. The community faced a devastating epidemic, and Kemi's hospital became the center of the response. With her leadership, the outbreak was contained, saving countless lives. Kemi met Tund, an engineer, who volunteered to help build her medical school. They bonded over their shared passion for helping others, and eventually fell in love. Though hesitant at first, Kemi allowed herself to embrace happiness again. Their wedding was a joyous celebration, with the entire village of Amuran coming together to witness the union. The children from the orphanage sang songs they had written for the occasion, making the day unforgettable. Kemi and Tund worked together on expanding their projects, but challenges continued to arise. A land dispute threatened the construction of a new research center. After months of negotiations and community pressure, the land was secured. Kemi and Tund faced personal heartbreak when Kemi miscarried their first child. Though devastated, they found strength in each other and in the children at the orphanage. Kemi declared, "I'll always be a mother to these children and to any child who needs me." After years of struggle, Kemi and Tund adopted a baby girl from the orphanage and named her Hope. The adoption brought them joy and renewed their commitment to creating a better future for others. Kemi's name became synonymous with hope and resilience. She received global recognition, including a national honor from the President of Nigeria, for her contributions to healthcare and education. She partnered with international organizations to secure funding for vaccinations and rural healthcare. Her influence grew, but so did the challenges. Cyber attacks on her organization and political opposition tested her resilience, but she overcame each obstacle with determination. As Kemi grew older, she focused on mentoring the next generation. Her students achieved remarkable things, spreading her vision across Africa and beyond. Her life became a symbol of what one person's determination could accomplish. When Tund passed away after a long illness, Kemi was heartbroken but continued their shared mission. She retired to Amuran, now a bustling town with modern amenities, and spent her remaining years teaching and mentoring. Kemi passed away peacefully, surrounded by the children she had saved and the legacy she had built. Her story became a legend, a tale of hope rising from the ashes of despair, inspiring generations to come. The moral lesson Kemi's story is to know that, one of the most important things to recognize is that your past does not necessarily predict your future. Each day is an opportunity for growth, change, and transformation. If you let past failures, heartbreaks, or regrets determine your future actions, you could miss out on new opportunities simply because you're not open to change. The past is a reflection of who you were at a specific point in time, not who you are today or who you could become. People grow, they evolve, and their circumstances can shift dramatically. What once might have been a limitation can now be a lesson learned that propels you forward. Holding on to past mistakes or regrets prevents you from seeing the potential that lies ahead. Bestie, thanks for watching and supporting this channel. I hope you find this story impactful in one way or the other. Please do well to like and share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel until I see you in our next story. Bye.